that you've been lonely too long. Hold me too much, you're the man to cry. Well, it's hard holding back the tears when you said goodbye. Don't tell me you love me and walk away. Oh, today. Don't tell me you want me.
Hello, my name is Kathy Payer, and here's your host, the wild man, Albert Torcaso.
Yeah, I'm a wild man because I'm not going to let health care reform die in America. No, don't turn the station, don't turn the station. We are not going to talk that much about health care reform today. Now, we are going to have 5 or 10 minutes. If we get to it, we're going to do our best. But before I get to the business at hand, this show is about inspiring my fellow Pittsburghers and my fellow Americans today. So we're going down a different road today. It's not going to be healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. We're going to have our 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but it's not going to be healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. But let me just say this. President Obama and all members of Congress, that includes 40 Republicans who so far have been completely against, that's right, America, completely against health care reform. For you 40 Republicans that don't care about the American people, just remember, the American people voted you in. Not me personally, for the most part, but they voted you in. So don't say no to health care, Republican Party. Democrats in Congress, you don't have your 60-member supermajority. Don't wimp out. Don't be a bunch of cowards and clowns. Give the American people a reason to applaud you, Congress and Mr. President. Don't give us a reason to say they're nothing but a bunch of jerks. And we know that's not what people usually say, but I'm being polite. So America, I'm going to keep fighting for health care reform. And every single month, I'm going to do 5 or 10 minutes. You can count on it. And even though the president has a new focus on jobs, 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 and the Republican Party and the Democratic Party both are focusing on job, job, jobs, they need to remember, in the president's own words, we cannot fix this economy without first fixing health care reform. So, Mr. President, let me remind you of what you said. Mr. President Barack Obama, let me remind you, you may create 5 million jobs in the next 4 to 6 years. You may create 25 million jobs in the next 8 years. Let me tell you something. You can create all the jobs that you could ever create, but you're still not going to fix this economy. And for my fellow Pittsburghers and fellow Americans out there, let me tell you something. You may get a job, but the economy ain't going to be fixed. Your health care costs are going to go up. And every single thing else, every other thing, including the cost of milk, until we fix health care. So we need health care reform. 58 Democrats in Congress and 1 independent. 57 Democrats in the Senate and 2 independents. We need health care reform, Republican Party in the Senate. We need health care reform, Democrats in the House. We need health care reform, Republicans in the House. Now, we're still going to do a little something a little bit later. But today, this is about inspiration. This is about things that our fellow Pittsburghers or fellow Americans or both of us, both Americans and Pittsburghers, have done. They've accomplished. With that, I'm going to introduce you to the one and only Annette Bernice Mendel, and she's going to tell you a little something.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk about an American all-time favorite treat. It is frequently enjoyed during a certain time of the year, but is enjoyed all year round. I'm talking about the ice cream cone and summertime, the season where people are inspired to be outdoors and partake in outdoor activities and outdoor fun, So something me and my friends like to do during the summer is end a fun-filled day with an ice cream cone or other ice cream treat. Now I've introduced you to the ice cream cone. I'm going to tell you who invented our popular treat and when it was. Reportedly, a pastry maker, Ernest Hamwian, who was selling zalabia, a crisp pastry cooked in a hot waffle pattern press, came to the aid of a neighboring ice cream vendor, perhaps Arnold Fornichow, who had run out of dishes. Hamwian rolled a warm zalabia into a cone that could hold ice cream. However, numerous vendors sold pastries at the World's Fair, and several of them have invented the ice cream cone, citing a variety of they claim to have invented the cone, citing a variety of inspirations. Hamwian's story is sourced from a letter he wrote in 1928 to the Ice Cream Trade Journal, long after he had established the Cornucopia Waffle Company. Later, the Missouri Cone Company. Nationally, by that time, the ice cream cone industry was producing some 250 million cones a year.
That's good enough.
Well, I want to talk about the first cones were rolled by hand, but in 1912, Frederick Bruckman, an inventor from Portland, Oregon, patented a machine for rolling ice cream cones. He sold his company to Nabisco in 1998. Nabisco is still producing ice cream cones as it has been since 1928. Independent ice cream providers such as Ben & Jerry's make their own ice cream cones.
Okay, now, Annette, before we get to Chris and his moments of inspiration, why is the ice cream cone being invented? Why does that have a reason to inspire our fellow Pittsburghers and Americans? Why should that inspire anyone?
Well, because it's a very popular treat.
But other than being a popular treat, why would it inspire us? What's so exciting about that?
Well, how it was formed. One man needed help, and the other man came to his aid, and in doing so, they created a treat that would be a future success and was a current success once they discovered how to make the ice cream cone.
Let me be clear before I go to Chris. What Annette is saying is it's not the actual cone that is what I'm asking you to think about and be inspired by. Is a man ran out of dishes. Now, there are other vendors who claim they were the one who made the cone for him. But basically, there was an ice cream vendor who was selling his ice cream. At that time, you would get it in a bowl. And he had it in a bowl. He ran out of bowls. So he had another vendor who was a friend, who was a baker. Went over to that baker. He said, you know what? I ran out of bowls. Is there anything you can do for me? At that point, that man who was the baker, who was a Syrian immigrant, a naturalized American citizen, he said, yeah, I'm going to see if I can do something. And he didn't say it like that, but he basically said, I will try. And that's when he created, to keep the ice cream from melting so that people can eat it, the guy that was selling the ice cream, that's when they created the ice cream cone. That's the inspirational part. That required quick thinking. It required, yes, I had a booper. It required quick thinking. It required an innovativeness, an inventiveness. It also solved a problem. That's what Americans do. We go through tragedy. We go through, ups and downs. But our innocence, I mean, if you go to the Heinz History Center and you learn how many firsts came from our fellow Pittsburghers, how what we have done has changed lives, saved lives, and